It's on? Good morning, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. I want to welcome everybody to my home and for the second annual Tawheed Conference. And with that said, I'm going to bring on the floor immediately Hamza, Abdul, Malik.
Well, that was a nice quick introduction, even though I don't have any titles, any background or anything, so maybe you just did a little more, but just Hamza might have been good enough. Anyway, again, thank you for everyone that came out, as the brother just announced, and as you see here on the chart, this is our second annual Tawheed Conference. Tawheed, by Tawheed we mean the unicity of Allah, of God, what is also known as monotheism. And this concept started with us actually 3 years ago. We had made a trip down to Maryland to visit some of our brothers who are here to kind of like bond with them, brotherhood, fellowship, and we had such a good time in our discussion and socializing and so forth, we decided to do it another year. But the next time we did it with more of a purpose, and that purpose was to specifically discuss issues surrounding our belief as Muslims. And so we thought there was no greater issue or concept that we could discuss greater than the concept of Tawheed. So we named that the Tawheed Conference, and that's what that sign there brought about. And so now this is the second time that we're meeting for that purpose, although it's the third time that we have gathered. Instead of Maryland, we're here in New York, in Roosevelt, at our brother Tariq's home, and we thank him for allowing us to use that. So now, let's get started. I want to show, first of all, if we're going to discuss things as Muslims, we should know what is the source of guidance. Where should we discuss things from? What should be the source? As a Muslim, speaking about God, what source or sources should we use? And so therefore we thought, rather than to start the discussion with the concept of Tawheed, which is the whole theme of the meeting here, we thought before we talk about Tawheed, let's see, where should we talk about Tawheed from? What source? Should it be from the Quran as Muslims? Should it be from the Hadith? Should it be from the Tafsir books? Should it be from the fiqh books, the Sirah books, the Hidayah books? What books should we use? And so we want to find that out. And so here we have the source of guidance. Guidance in Arabic is Huda, al-Huda. And we want to talk about that verse, chapter 20, verse 49 and 50. Those verses there. We'll start this way. Pharaoh said, "Who is your Lord, O Moses?" He said, "Our Lord is he who gives to everything his creation, then guides." Who is your Lord, O Moses? Our Lord is he who gives to everything his creation, then he guides it. So we see from that Allah has created everything that exists. He brought everything into existence. The last thing he does as a ni'mah, or as a favor to his creation, is to provide guidance for it. Because he can bring everything into creation and it just be stagnant, without purpose, without any function. So everything has a function. Everything has this law that governs it, how it acts, and it acts accordingly. So that's the guidance of Allah. So that's what Allah is doing consistently now. Guiding through his laws, not hands-on. He's not hands-on like you're driving a car. He's guiding it. He has an automatic guiding system. He's got it on cruise control, if you want to say that. And he's guiding. And the way that he's guiding us is through his revelation that he has revealed. And this is what we want to find out exactly what that entails. What is the source of guidance? Definition, guide. What does it mean to guide? One that leads or directs another's way. A person who exhibits and explains points of interest. Something that provides a person with guiding information, like a signpost rather. A person who directs another's conduct or course of life. That's what a guide is, a guide. So, for this presentation, our concern is with the term hudan, or right guidance. We don't want just any kind of guidance, because anybody can guide, any kind of way. We want right guidance. By right guidance, I mean guidance that will guide us as human beings in this life back to our Creator, back to Him. We came from Him, we want to be guided back to Him. Get back to Him safely and sound. So we are concerned with right guidance. And we want to be concerned with Hadi, who is the guide or the leader. We want to be concerned with Muqtadi, who are the rightly guided ones. And we want to be concerned with Ahda, is there any chance of us being better guided? Better guided. So, right guidance, the guide or the leader, who should that be? Rightly guided, who are they? And is there a chance that we can still be better guided? All that's going to fall under the category of guidance. Now, a note of interest. Guide, when you talk about guide, it implies intimate knowledge of the way of truth and the way of falsehood, and of all its difficulties and dangers. If a person is going to guide you, he can't just know one way. He has to know the other way. He has to know what is right and what is wrong. I can go this way, no, don't go this way. Well, why not go that way? Because of this. Why go this way? Because of that. I know the intricacies about both ways. So a guide has to know that. Not only that, a guide cannot himself have been guided. You see, he has to be the one who knows the guidance in terms of what we're talking about without himself having been guided. Now, in the Quran, chapter 90, verse 7 to 10. Does he think that no one sees him? We're talking about man. Have we not given him 2 eyes, and a tongue, and 2 lips, and pointed to him the 2 conspicuous ways? Have we done that for him? Haven't we given man 2 eyes, 2 lips, and we pointed out to him the 2 conspicuous ways, the right way and the wrong way? That's been pointed out to you. Again in the Quran, chapter 91, verse 7 and 8. And the soul in its perfection. So he reveals to it its way of evil and its way of good. Allah has revealed that to you, inspired within you, within your own DNA, so to say. The idea of what is right and what is wrong. You know inherently right from wrong. You know that. He has revealed that within yourself. Now, the question is, what exactly is the source of guidance for Muslims? And why should a Muslim need to ask this question? What is the source of guidance for Muslims? And why would a Muslim have to ask this question? We said life is a 2-party system. You know, in the politics of this country, you have the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, the Independent Party, the Tea Party, and various other fringe parties, everybody jockeying for position. But in Islam, there's only two parties. Two parties. Quran chapter 5, verse 56. And whoever takes Allah and his messenger and those who believe for friends, surely the party of Allah, they shall triumph. The party of Allah. Hizbullah. The party of Allah. Whoever takes Allah and the believers for friends, they will triumph. In the Quran chapter 58 verse 19, the devil has gained mastery over them. So he has made them forget the remembrance of Allah. They are the devil's party. Now surely the devil's party are the losers, you see. Hizbul Shaitan. You see? So we have the two-party system. The party of Allah that surrenders and submits and does God's will, and the party that rejects that and follows Shaitan. There's only two parties. We would need to know which party we are of. And that's for all of mankind. All of mankind is involved in this two-party system when it comes to God. When it comes to your own man-made systems and politics, you have all these different parties. But when it comes to God, for humanity, there's only two parties. About these two parties, we are told in the Quran, chapter 7, verse 30. You can see, right? I'm not blocking it. About these two parties, we're told in Quran, chapter 7, verse 30. A party he has guided, and another party perdition is justly their due. Surely they took the devils for friends instead of Allah, and they think that they are rightly guided. There's people who think that they're rightly guided. They have taken the devils for friends other than Allah, yet they think that they're rightly guided. You walk out the door, walk outside, walk out into the world, and you'll meet all kinds of different people from different persuasions, talking about God and believing in God, and each one professes with his theology, with his doctrine, that he is rightly guided. He thinks that he's rightly guided, even though it contradicts this guy over here, who thinks he's rightly guided, who contradicts this guy over here, who thinks he's rightly guided. So all these different contradictions that each one thinking that they're rightly guided, somebody has to be wrong. Either they're all wrong, or there can only be one right out of all of that. They can all be wrong, but only one can be right. So they think that they're rightly guided. In the Quran, chapter 43, 36 to 37, and whoever turns himself away from the remembrance of Allah, the remembrance of the beneficent. When you turn yourself away from the remembrance of the beneficent, we point for him a devil. So he is his associate. And surely they hinder them from the right path. And they think that they are rightly guided. They think that they are rightly guided. So when you turn yourself from the remembrance of Allah, when God is no longer in your thinking, in your mind, in your aspirations, and you're not seeking Him, seeking His desires, seeking His will, seeking truth about Him, seeking to understand who He is. When you no longer desire that, then automatically you have turned. And when you turn from Him, you turn to something else. You just don't turn into a vacuum. You turn from to. You turn to something else. And so you have taken the devil for a friend, you have turned to him, and you think that you are rightly guided. You think that you're rightly guided. So now Allah sets the stage for His guidance. So we want to go way back as far as we can to see how the guidance started in the first place. So Allah sets that stage for us. In chapter 2, verse 38. When we're talking about this story, and most of us here, Muslims, we've already read this, we know it, and anything that I'm showing here, I'm quoting to you text. Some people will say, well, brother, you're quoting that out of context. Well, that's what a quote is. A quote is a text that's quoted out of context. That's a quote. So that's what I'm doing. I put quotation marks around it. Now, you can go back in your own spare time and check the context to see if the sense of what I'm saying is in conjunction with the context. Because if I'm quoting something out of context and it's misstating the text, then you can blame me. But if it's when you read back and you say, well, that's what he said, that was true, even though he didn't quote all of it, the point he made is true, well, then that's all we're doing here. We're not going to read a whole book to give you, sometimes I used to take some friends of mine and I said, well, look, read chapter so and so and so. They said, well, let me just restart it, begin and read. Then maybe you got 20 to 30 verses to read. I just asked them to read one, but they want to make sure that they read the whole thing, kill time and all that, and waste time. I was saying, no, when you got to that, it didn't change nothing. So we want to see. So now, God says here, in this stage of life, the beginning in paradise, wherever, whatever condition that was. We said, go forth from this state, all. Surely there will come to you. Something's going to come to you. What? A guidance from who? From me. Guidance is going to come to you, humanity. It's going to come to you. You don't have it. It's going to come to you. From where? From me. It's going to come from me, not from yourself. You're not going to germinate it yourself. You're not going to manufacture it yourself. It's going to come to you from me. From me. Then, whoever, I don't care who it is, of humanity, whoever, and not Muslim, Jew, Christian, Hindu, Buddhist, whoever of humanity, whoever follows what? My guidance. My guidance. No fear comes upon them, nor shall they grieve. So, get out of this condition. God is setting the stage for humanity, putting humanity out into the world, and telling them that guidance is you're going to be out there stumbling and bumbling around, but guidance is going to come to you from me, and whoever of you follows my guidance, there'll be no grief, no fear. So we have to wonder, well, who's going to bring that guidance? Is God going to come and say, well, hello, wow, God. He says, yeah, I told you I was going to come and bring the guidance. No, it's not like that, I don't think, but we'll see. Maybe it might be, but we'll see. It's going to come to them. In the Quran, chapter 7, verse 35, O children of Adam, if, this is the condition, this is a conditional clause, if this happens, then this has to be the result. If it doesn't, then whatever follows doesn't matter. But if this happens, then the results is after that. So this is a conditional clause. O children of Adam, if messengers come to you from among you, relating to you my messages, not theirs. Messengers come to you from among you, not just running off and talking, relating to you my messages, that they'll have my messages, they got it from me, my messages. Whosoever guards against evil and acts aright, they shall have no fear, nor shall they grieve. So look, we're starting right off at the top. Now right away, if we stop this lecture right now, for anybody who has common sense, anybody who uses their common sense, and I'm sure all of us in here, we have that, would say, wow, you don't have to go any further. We know the source of the guidance. The source of the guidance is God. He just put everybody out without no guidance and told them that none of y'all ain't got no guidance, none of you, and guidance is going to come to you from me. And then he now qualifies it by saying messengers. That's how you're going to get it. You're going to get the message through a messenger. A messenger brings a message. You see? So now when he brings you the message that he got from me, if you follow that message, not the messenger, don't follow him, follow the message, then you have no problem. Don't get caught up in the messenger. Say, wow, the messenger came, oh, wow, look at you, a nice guy. Oh, what do you do for a living? Yeah, well wow, can we, you should be this, and you should set up something over here, and you should be doing this. And so the messenger gets all caught up in that, and he says, wow, you got a point. I can make more money by doing my own thing. I set up my own thing. He didn't pay me enough to do this. I set up my own shop and I do my own stuff now. And then branch off until you got a lot of different messenger shops all over the place with different messages. No, not like that. So here, messages come to you, reciting to you my messages. Important. Now, Adam was the first to receive guidance. Whomever Adam was, well, that's not our issue. First man of mankind, we're not interested in that in this discussion, but we'll just use Adam for now. Adam was the first to receive guidance. Quran chapter 20, verse 122 to 124. Then his Lord chose him, so he turned to him and guided. He said, now he's putting that stage, the same thing we just read in brief. He's giving a little more details about that setting the stage. We just read it in brief in 238 and 735. We just read it in brief. Now Allah's giving a little more details here. He said, go forth here from both, all. One of you is an enemy to the other. So there will surely come to you guidance again from me, that whoever, doesn't matter, follows what? My guidance, he will not go astray. He will not beat the law. He will not beat the law. You see, I don't like to be a lady while balding. We don't want to beat the law. So if you do this, you won't have to worry about being the law. Your prayer will be answered. You don't have to ask anymore. Here's the prescription right away. You don't say, oh Lord, don't let us be the law. He already told you what to do. So look, I told you, well, don't let me get lost. Well, I told you, go straight and turn right. Oh, brother, you sure don't let me get lost, I'm going straight, like you said. Yeah, but when you get there, you turn right. Simple as that. So now, 124. And whoever turns away from my reminder, him is surely a straight life, for him is surely a straight life, and we shall raise him up blind on the day of resurrection. On the day of resurrection. Now take a notice that something has happened right here. You see, Allah knows the choice of words. He says if the oceans were ink and the trees were pens, they could not exhaust his words. He has more words than you could have comprehension for his words. He said if he was to give you his favor, you couldn't number them. Even all the calculators and all the stuff that you got in the world, they just explode. They cannot carry the number for the favor that he's giving you. So he knows words. He says he makes the truth to be the truth by his words. But look how he used words here. Look. He says, surely there will come to you guidance from me. Whoever follows my guidance, Huda, he will not go astray, following the Huda. But whoever turns away from my dhikr. Now the word here is turned into this, reminder. So the guidance is also the reminder. And the reminder is the guidance. You see, interchangeable words. So the Quran is called Al-Huda. The Quran is called Al-Dhikr. Both terms. So Allah is letting you know that both terms is what's going to be the result of what this is. If you follow the guidance, no problem. If you turn away from the reminder, you forget. You're not remembering, you see? You're not remembering, then problem for you. Quran is Al-Huda in chapter 2, verse 185. Quran is Al-Dhikr in chapter 15, verse 9. There's the attributes of that Quran. Now, let's look now at Al-Fatiha, because now the people that have been dispersed out into the world, we have the first indication that they are pleading to God for guidance. They're asking God for guidance. It's the first indication we get in the Quran that these people who've been dispersed and set the stage for creation, that they finally, at some point, God has now recorded their request for guidance. And I'm saying this, the or a, because it could be independent or it could be group. The or a Muslim's request for guidance. Oh, why would I say a Muslim's request for guidance? It said for guidance, it seemed like it would be the unbelievers wanting to be guided. Why would it be the Muslims? Well, look at what it says. It says, Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. So now you know the Fatiha. It says, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Who would be saying that? That wouldn't be a person who doesn't know anything about God saying all praise is due to God. He would have to know that. The person would have to at least know all praise is due to God. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. He knows a couple of his attributes. That person already knows that. That's the person who's making this petition. Iyaka na'bu wa iyaka nasta'in. Look at that. He's saying, you alone do we serve, and you alone we beseech for help. He's already doing that. The person is already doing it. The person is already a monotheist. He's already serving God alone. He's already trusting God alone. It says, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. You're the one. The person who's asking in Fatiha is already a servant of God. He's already submitted. You see? So I'm saying he's a Muslim. I'm not saying he's a believer because he's asking for guidance. You see? The believer has already got the guidance. This person is asking for guidance, perhaps to be better guided. To be better guided. Now he says, Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. He doesn't want just any kind of guidance. He's specific now. He wants to be guided the Sirat al-Mustaqim. Now the word Sirat, I'm not a grammarian, but I can know that this word here is singular. Sirat is never plural. It's not paths. It guides us the path, the straight paths. There's nothing like that. It's one path. There's one path that they want to be guided, and that path is mustaqim from kawamun. That means that path that is established, it's in place, it's not going to change, it's sound, it's sturdy, it's always going to be there. So that's the path we want, the kawamun, the qiyam. So now, we have to ask some questions about this to make sure we understand what's going on. Who is the petitioner? You see? Who is the petitioner? So I got right here, and I'll just announce it for the camera. You don't have to maybe try to pinpoint it. Who is the petitioner? That's going to be found in chapter 40 of the Quran, verse 60. Chapter 40, verse 60. Who the petitioner is. Who is being petitioned? That is already right there in chapter 1, verse 1. Alhamdulillah, Rabb Alameen. We petition the Rabb of Alameen. The Alameen means the all known. They said all the worlds. Alam means to have knowledge. So he's the Rabb, the Lord of anything that's known or knowable. If you don't know it and it's knowable, he's the Lord of that. Even though you don't know it. It's knowable. And whether you know it or not, if it exists, he's the Rabb of it. When you come to know of it, he's already there. Not some new Rabb who brought it into existence. What is the petition for? What is this for? Well, we have it right here. Sirat al-Mustaqim. That's what we're asking for. Who is the guide, or what is the guide? That's going to be in 2856 and in 2254. You're going to find the answer to that. You can look it up later. What are the qualifications of the guide? And that's going to be in chapter 91, verse 8. We just discussed it, that guide has to know both ways. He has to be qualified. He has to know the intricacies about the right way, and he has to know the intricacies about the wrong way. He has to know everything so that he can guide. Well, I know all about this and I know all about that, so I'm qualified to guide. Is the guide sufficient to guide? Does he need help? I don't want to ask the guy and then he says, well, I can only get you half the way. You have to find somebody else to take you the rest of the way. I said, nah, don't mind. I want somebody who can take me all the way. So is he sufficient to guide? That's going to be in chapter 25, verse 31. What type of guidance is being requested? Divine guidance. We're going to use that term. divine guidance. In other words, guidance from our Creator. Not just any local kind of guidance. We want guidance from our Creator that will get us in His favor, get us back in His pleasure, that He's pleased with us and we're pleased with Him. That's what we want. That's going to be in chapter 21, verse 20. What is the source of the guidance? That's going to be in chapter 2, verse 185. This Quran has been set down as a guidance and proof of the guidance. Is the source of the guidance sufficient? That's going to be in 10:15, 28:49. Who are the guided ones? That's going to be in 7:178. See, all these questions are going to come up when we talk about guidance. It's not just a simple thing. Just to talk about that, you need to know all these points. You have to be assured of them. Otherwise, you might not be being guided. You have to know all of these in place. The Quran supplies all that information, but you have to question, you have to think, you have to ponder. And Quran gives you this right there. It's already there. Who are the guided ones? 7:178. What is the Siratul Mustaqim and where does it lead? Where does it lead us? That's going to be in 1936 and 743. Who are the Dhalameen? The straying ones, because we have to be able to know, wow, not these guys. I mean, I might not know if I'm guided, but I know that they're straying. So I know not to go over here. I know that's wrong. I might not know what's right, but I know what's wrong. That's wrong, so I'm not going to do that. That's going to be in 2850. Who are the favored? You see, the people of Anam, the favored one. Those who you're favored. You're showing your nitma. That's in 469. So you can go when you review this tape. We're going to have a copy of this tape, and everybody's here. We'll get a copy of it, hopefully. And you can look over these points and check them and certify that information. But we're going to make sure that you understand this before you get up out of your seat anyway. Hopefully. The Quran provides the guidance. The Quran. Chapter 17, verse 9. Surely this, the Quran, guides to that which is most upright, and gives good news to the believers who do good, that theirs is a great reward. You see, you said, Ihdina Siratal Mustaqim. This Quran guides to Aqwam. That's the comparative form of Qawamun, which is better. It guides to better. Whatever you ask for, Allah gave you better. He said, you want guidance? I'll give you more. I'll give you the best guidance you can have. This Quran gives you the best guidance, Aqwam, guides to that which is most upright. You see? Most upright. Sirat, special note. Sirat, way path, and Mustaqim, straight path, are upright established. Now, in the Quran, chapter 12, verse 40, Allah says, you serve not but besides Him but names which you have named, you and your fathers. Allah has set down no authority for them. Judgment is only Allah's. He commands that you serve none but Him. This is the right deen, what they translate as religion, but most people know not. Allah has commanded that you serve none but Him. But you serve names what you have named, you and your fathers, your ancestors. Fathers mean not only your literal fathers, but your ancestors from old. Allah has set down no sultan for that. The word sultan translates as convincing argument. You don't have any convincing argument for what you're doing. You might have an argument, but it's not convincing. Of course, you're going to put up an argument. Brother, that's some foolishness you're talking. It's not convincing. Nobody believes that. You see, that don't even make sense. You have no sultan. You see? Serve Allah. That's the right thing. Now, Siratul Mustaqim equals Tawheed or monotheism. Siratul Mustaqim equals Tawheed or monotheism. Quran 1936. And surely Allah is my Lord and your Lord, so serve Him. This is the right path. Hada Sirat al-Mustaqim. Look at that. Serving Allah. That's the Sirat al-Mustaqim. Serving Allah alone. You see, whenever you read in the Quran, Allah, it means Allah alone. Whenever you see Allah, automatically you have to think alone. You see? Alone. Allah alone. And we're going to show that. We're going to show that in a few minutes. I'm not going to just say that and say, oh, wow, he told him that. I'm going to show you. I'm just putting it out there for you now. So maybe in your mind you say, that's some nonsense. He don't know what he's talking about. And then I'm going to clear your mind up for you then and stop you from thinking like that. Stop you from jumping the gun. You see? So I better slow down now because as soon as I start thinking, I'm going to frank that back because he's going to clean it up. So look. Allah alone. We're calling this a guiding light. Quran chapter 5 verse 15 and 16. You said, Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. That's what you asked for. You wanted to be guided the Sirat al-Mustaqim. So Allah comes and tells you, O people of the book, indeed, our messenger has come to you, making clear to you much of that which you concealed of the book, and passing over much. You was concealing much, and you were passing over much, not even paying that no mind. Indeed, there has come to you from Allah a light and a clear book. It comes from Allah, a light and a clear book. Whereby, there's a little word here, bihi, purpose clause. Be little word, bihi, purpose clause. For this purpose, with this, whereby Allah guides such as follows his pleasures into the ways of peace, brings them out of darkness into light by his will, and guides them to the Sirat al-Mustaqim. Guides them in our Sirat al-Mustaqim. Look at that. Allah says he has come to you a light. Whenever you see in the Quran the term a light, nur, it's always singular. It's always singular. There's never lights. It's like Sirat, singular. Light is always singular. But when you see darkness, bring you out of darkness, it's always plural. Dhulumat. It's always plural. Because darkness represents ignorance, wrong, and there's many shapes of wrong. But there's only one way to get it right. You see? One right. Not two. Not this and. It's not Quran and. It's not Allah and. It's never going to be that. It's only one. You see? It's only one. Special note. Abdul. Let me see. Oh, I'm sorry. No one says Abdi anymore. Look at that. Now, once you read in the Quran, after you said Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim, Ihdi, you're never going to see that said in the Quran anymore, ever. Ever, ever, ever. Never in the Quran is anybody going to ask to be guided. Nobody's going to ask to be guided anymore. Why do you suppose that? Because you got it. Allah says He done gave it to you. He done gave it to you. No need to ask. So what would you look like today standing, a brother is trying to make dua, Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim, I said, Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim, Ihdina. If I'm seeing the Prophet, I'm standing back there with the Prophet in that time, and he has already given me this information here and explained it to me, like it's being explained right here, meaning the book has explained itself. And I said, wow, look at that. Allah has already guided me. And then he said, well, brother, it's time to make dua. I said, dua, what's that? You know, salat al-dua ritual that we do. And I said, well, okay. And I'm standing there, and he said, Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. I said, well, wow, excuse me, Prophet, didn't you just ask Allah to guide you to Sirat al-Mustaqim? I thought you said you had already been guided. You already gave you that. So why are you still asking for guidance when you got it already? So the brother said, brother, come on. That's because we always want to be guided. So we keep asking Allah for guidance. I said, no, that's not what the Quran says. That's something from your mouth. The Quran never uses this anymore in the Quran. As a matter of fact, what you should be doing, instead of asking for his guidance, we should ask for protection, not for guidance. We should now ask for protection. Ask to protect us. Look, brother, I said, you know, can you help me get from this one to here? Yeah, don't worry, I'll ride with you and I'll help show you the way. I said, look, you know, watch it, because sometimes I don't read the signs right. Don't make sure I don't make the wrong turn. You see, I'm not looking for you to ask you to guide me. Just help me stay on the course now. You see, you're already showing me the guidance, but make sure, brother, stay awoke now. You need to pull over maybe and get some rest. So you're helping me in that way. Look, instead we should ask for his protection, not for his guidance. Now let's take a look and see. So, brother, wow, this is some serious stuff you're saying. Look, Quran chapter 2, verse 185. The month of Ramadan is that in which the Quran was sent down, revealed, a guidance to men, for men, and clear proofs of the guidance. You see? Hudan lin-nas. This is guidance for the people. Quran 3:7. Our Lord, this is what now you should be saying. Our Lord, since you got the guidance already. Our Lord, make not our hearts to deviate after thou hast guided, past tense, us, and grant us mercy from thee. Surely thou art the most liberal giver. You see? We should be asking God, don't let us deviate now that you have guided us. We're not going to stand here and ask you to guide us anymore. We're asking you now, don't let us deviate. Help us to, and even that request is up to you. Allah's not going to make you deviate. All you got to do is follow this, but this is your human endeavor always to call out to do, but everything is provided for you. Allah says He's the one who created everything, put everything in place, and then guided. So there's nothing for you to ask Him for. That He didn't say, oh wow, I forgot that. You need that. You know, you need that. I've created all this heaven and earth and beyond, and I forgot that thing you need there. You know, what you need. I forgot that. Yeah, okay, you get. Oh, wow, I forgot yours too. Everybody, all the people on earth now, God is forgetting all these things that they're asking for. No, you got everything. You want to now stay on the right course. And actually, that's just you saying that. All you have to do is follow the guidance, you stay on the right course. It's automatic. The law is in place. The law is in place. If you follow guidance, you'll be guided. If you don't, the law, you won't be guided. Simple as that. Now, but still, your request is granted. In the Quran, chapter 9, verse 115. We're talking about the source of guidance. The source of guidance. Before we start talking about Tawheed, before we want to talk about Salah, fasting, Ramadan, who did this, who did that, and who shot John, we need to know what is the source that we're talking from. So we're talking about the source of guidance, so we can know at least now, whatever it is, we know where to find it. We don't have to go running around, brother, you can go to the library and see if you can find these old books, ancient books from this, and this brother translated this from Swahili and from this, and find all of that. You don't have to go do all of that. You got the book right here. Just look in the book. If you don't find it, leave it alone. If you don't find it, leave it alone. You know the basic things you do, right? Allah says, believe in Him, don't associate nothing with Him, and do good. That's common. That's what you do. If you do that, you go to paradise. You don't have to become a rocket scientist. Wow, you know, I was just a regular guy. I'm going to get into paradise with all the scientists and mathematicians and stuff. No, I was just a regular guy. No, did you do good? Did you associate things? Boom, in paradise sitting there with the rocket scientists who might be in hell, by the way. Quran 9:115. And is not attributable to Allah, they put it as, it is not Allah for Allah that He should lead people astray after He has guided them. It's not for Him. He's not going to lead nobody astray after He guided you. He's not going to do that. It's not necessary. You don't even have to say, Allah, don't let us go astray after you guided us. He's not going to do that. You're just saying that. You know, like you go to the grave site and you put some flowers down and say, oh, the person there, they don't know the flowers. They don't smell the flowers and all that. That's for you. You bought those flowers and put them there for you. Why don't you just take them and carry them with you? It's for you. You bought them for you. It's not for them. But it's your human nature to do that. Like you do, you make your conscience feel clear. You see? So you say, Allah, don't let me. It's not you. Don't blame Allah. It's you. He's not going to do that after you got it. You follow the guidance. Don't make that excuse now. Try to make it weak. Oh, Allah, you let me. He's not doing that for you. After he has guided you. So far, so he says, look, so far, so that he makes clear to them that what they should guard against and what they should guard against. Surely Allah is knower of all things. Look, it's not attributable to Allah that he should lead people astray after he has guided them. So much so that he makes clear to you what you should guard against. He's even told you what you should guard against. See, I see it if you said, well, I don't know, what is it, please Allah, don't let me, which way should I go, brother, should I step over it? He says, look, just step on the green. All the time, step on the green. Don't step on the gray. Gray, boom. I told you not to step on the gray. You see, if you step on the green, you can get across. So God has already told you how to step through life. He told you how to step through life. Just follow those steps. Quran chapter 14, verse 34. And he gives you all, Kuli, he gives you all that you ask of him. What are you asking for? What are you if you ask him for guidance, he gives it to you. He says he gives you all. So why ask him again? So brother, I just gave you the guidance. What do you keep asking me for? What's wrong with you? It says I give you, look, says Kuli. I give you all that you ask of him. He said he created everything for you, and now he's guided you. He's doing that right now. He's guiding you. And if you count Allah's favors, you will not be able to number them. That means get all your scientists and your technology and all of that, count the favors. The numbers are just going. And the machine, boom, blew up. So, wow, we got to make a bigger machine. All the scientists in the world, and boom, it blew up. So we need to give up. There's no machine that can count the favors. If you look, Allah said that, so you'll never be able to do it. He says, if you count Allah's favors, you will not be able to number them. Surely man, al-insan, the mankind, is very unjust and ungrateful. Unjust and ungrateful. You see, you're unjust and ungrateful. You're unjust because you keep asking God for guidance and he already gave it to you. That's not fair. You know, why you keep asking for something I already gave you? Like you don't appreciate it. I didn't give you enough. I didn't give you the right thing. You see, I didn't, brother, you know, I mean, you know, what you gave me, I understand it, but that wasn't enough. I need the money to get home. How much it costs? I don't know, about $20. Well, here's $30. Brother, can you give me? Yeah, but I saw something I bought. Boom. You're unjust and ungrateful. Question. Why are you still asking? Ihdina Siratal Mustaqim. Nobody in the Quran does. Nobody in the Quran. Just turn from, after the Fatiha, turn over throughout the Quran, and nobody's asking Ihdina anymore, ever. The only time you're going to see Ihdina again is when Allah said, guide them to hell. That's the next time you see that. When you're being guided to hell. Not guidance for here. So I don't know why you're still saying Ihdina Siratal Mustaqim. Maybe somebody will be able to answer that. And we'll understand. Muhammad, the messenger prophet, was guided by Allah alone. He was guided by Allah alone. So if he was guided by Allah alone, why would we think that we need to be guided by Allah and? Allah and. Why do you want to put and when you talk about Allah? Allah and. 671. Say, shall we call besides Allah? Besides Allah, should we call besides Allah? On that which profits us not, nor harms us? And shall we be turned back on our heels after Allah has guided us? like one whom the devil causes to follow his low desires in bewilderment in the earth. This person has companions who calls him to the right way. He has companions, friends of his. So brother come and said, we're having a Tawheed Conference. Why don't you come sit and listen with us? A Tawheed Conference, you know you like Tawheed, right? You heard that word, Tawheed. We're having a Tawheed Conference. There's nothing bigger in your life than that, right? Would you come and spend a minute and sit with us? You have companions who call you to the right way. Say, come to us, say, surely the guidance of Allah, that is the guidance, and we are commanded to submit to the Lord of the worlds, Al-Huda, Huda of Allah, that is the guidance. That's what Allah says. His Huda is the guidance. He said, brother, you didn't say Allah and. We're not interested in Allah. It's got to be Allah and His messenger, Allah and the Prophet, Allah and Muhammad, Allah and. We're going to show you that and is negated all the way throughout the Quran. We're going to show you. That's why I'm saying it like that, so you can start thinking again, wow, look what he's saying. He's getting in trouble. You see, well, everybody knows Allah and His messenger. So what is he talking about? So now, when I show you, it's going to lock your mind down again. So, wow, he caught me again. It's in your mind, you see, but we're going to work with your mind while we're doing this again. Look, Quran 6:162. Say, as for me, I don't know about y'all. This prophet is saying this. As for me, I don't know about y'all standing there talking about Ihdina Siratal Mustaqim 5 times a day, every day. I don't know about that. But as for me, my Lord has guided, past tense, guided me. Where? Ila Siratal Mustaqim, to the right path. A right deen. The faith of Abraham, Malik to Abraham, the dictates of Abraham, what he dictated, and that's monotheism, Tawheed. The upright one, and he was not of the mushrikeen. He didn't have 2 or more sources. A mushrik is a person who has 2 or more things that he depends on. See, Tawheed is one thing, unity, oneness. But once you add anything to that, you become associating, partnership, shirk, partnering, sharing, and you become a mushrik. Simple as that. And he was not of the mushrikeen. He only dealt with Allah alone. Whatever he got from he got it from Allah alone. His guidance, his knowledge, everything from Allah alone. He didn't bring somebody else in, his ancestors, his cousins, uncles, the sheikh down the corner. Somebody said, brother, can you help me with this? I mean, that's clear, but can you add some light to this? He says, yeah, well, really, what you should do, these people over here, you whip them, but according to our law, kill them, stone them. The guy says, well, God says, whip me. He says, yeah, but we have our own thing. The sheikh said that you should be stoned to death. Well, God said this. Well, brother, that's what the hadith said. So, 2 things, conflicting. We'll talk about that too. He's guided me in my Siratal Mustaqim. I don't know about you, but for me, my Lord has guided me. So no need for me to stand here and say, Ihdina Siratal Mustaqim. Why would I be saying that? My Lord has guided me. All I got to do is stay on it now and do what I'm supposed to do. Muhammad, the messenger prophet, trusted the Quran alone as the source of guidance. That's what he did. I'm quoting the Quranic verses. You see, I don't know if these verses need tafsir. They need further examination, explaining, and all that. To me, they don't. They're very plain and simple. I'm a common man, you see. So I'm trying to deal with the very basic, simple things, you see. And in English, it's very clear to me. So now, if it's this clear to me in English, it's got to be even clearer in Arabic, you see. If the translator can translate this and it's that clear and sufficient for me in English, well, how much clearer could it be, if this light here is giving me this light with this thing around it? Imagine if I take that off. It's going to give me better light. Still, it's not gonna, what I'm reading, I can read here now. When I take that out, it ain't gonna change the writing here. It's gonna make me read it better. I can stand back here and read it now. This is the same writing though. Not gonna change the writing. You see? Okay. Muhammad the messenger prophet trusted the Quran alone as the source of guidance. That's what he trusted. I don't know why we don't want to do the same thing. We want the Quran and. Said, brother, these brothers over here talking about the Quran alone. They're Quraniyun. Quraniyin. Let's make up a name for them. Quraniyin. Quraniyun. So, is that what you want to call a prophet, the messenger, one who you love and have celebrated? That's what he was. That's what he had. The Quran alone. I don't know. We're Muslims. We follow the Quran. But why do you want to make up these names? Well, I don't know. But that's what you want to call them? Wow, look at that. Look at that. 6107. Follow that which is revealed to you from your Lord. That's number one. Follow that which is revealed to you from your Lord. That's number one. Number two, there is no God but He. Number three, turn away from the mushrikeen. Look at that. Look at that. 3-point must system. First of all, follow that which is revealed to you from your Lord. That's what the prophet was told. Uhiya, wahi. Follow the wahi. That is revealed to you from your Lord. Follow it. Taba'a. Be in sync with it. Do it. Do it, first of all. And while you're doing it, know there is no God but He. Keep that in mind too. While you're following that, living your life, there's no God but He. Don't associate nothing with Him. If you got that like that, you're good. Turn away from the people who are not doing those two things because they are mushrikeen. They're the mushriks. Wow, look how Allah told us who the mushriks are. Simple as that. In case anybody who's looking at this camera and looking at me now, because everybody here can see me clearly. For the people who are out there who's going to see this, maybe on the other side of the world, if we can get over here, Allah just said who a mushrik is. Very simply. We don't have to have big dictionaries and grammarians and all that kind of thing. Look, Allah told the messenger, He says, follow that which is revealed to you from your Lord. No, you don't have no problem with that, is right? If you do, we'll tell you. Look over in 619. Says this Quran has been revealed to me that one you know if it want. So 10:15. Bring a Quran other than this or change it. Says no. So we know it's the Quran. 2:26. Produce a surah like it. So there's surahs. So follow that. Follow the Quran only. And keep in mind that there's no God but He. Don't bring nobody, no person, no God, no thing into play. Now, once you're doing that, anybody who else ain't doing that, they are the mushriks. They're bringing something else. Turn away from them. Get away from them. Turn away from that. You see, you can call them to this, but turn away from that. Don't you be a part of that. You can call them to this, but don't follow that. Turn away from that. Mushrikeen. Now, follow that which is revealed to you from your Lord. Quran 10:15. So now, apparently, the prophet is sitting there. He's got this Quran, and that's the only thing he's got, and the people are not happy with it. Say, brother, you just got this Quran, and look what it's saying. It's talking about our gods and talking about we can't do this and we can't do this and all that. We're not accustomed to this. Look. When our what messages? Our clear messages. Not ambiguous, not somebody got to come and straighten them out for you. It's when our clear messages, ayatul bayan, our clear messages are recited to them, rehearsed to them. Those who have no hope for the meeting with us say, look, say, Muhammad, look, bring a Quran other than this. Look, we don't, that's all he's got. He said bring a Quran and. He says bring a Quran and something else. He says bring a Quran other than this. Or change this one. change this one. Bring a Quran other than this, or change this one. Look at that. So look how he responds. Say, tell them. See, say. He's not going to open his mouth and say, you must be crazy. Imagine that. When they come up to the prophet and he's got this revelation from God and he knows this experience and it's powerful for him, and they say, Muhammad, you need to bring Quran other than that, right away his urge would be, are you crazy? That would be his first thinking, like the natural instinct of a person speaking of himself. Are you crazy? Why would I do that? You don't open his mouth to say nothing. Allah tells him what to say. You don't open your mouth because that's recorded in the Quran, so we can't have you saying nothing that's in the Quran out of your own self. So say. They ask you, say. You don't do no talking until Allah tells you what to say. Look, say. It is not for me to change it of my own accord. I follow naught but what is revealed to me. Wahi. I follow not what is revealed to me from my Lord. Indeed, I fear if I disobey my Lord, chastise him on the grievous day. Look at that. So look what happened, you see. They asked him to bring a Quran other than this or change it. He only responded to one part of the request. He didn't respond to the first. He didn't say, I'm not going to bring a Quran other than that. That's like foolishness. It wasn't in his power to bring it in the first place. So how are you going to respond to that? He didn't have nothing to do with the Quran to bring it. But he does have the power to change it. He could change it. And so he responds to what he's able to do. He's able to change it. And he says, I'm not going to change it of my own accord. You see? I don't have no power to bring this Quran, another Quran, because I didn't bring it. It's from Allah. I have power to change it, but I'm not going to do it either. I follow only what is revealed to me from my Lord. That's what I follow only. I don't follow my sunnah, my thinking, some traditions I got, some Arab customs and all that as guidance to get me to paradise. I don't follow that. Yeah, I live as an Arab and I eat and drink and sit and dance and whatever I do as an Arab, that's my culture, that's my custom. But for my belief, my understanding, what I trust to get me from here to paradise, only the Quran, that's all I'm dealing with, nothing else. Well, that's clear, isn't that clear? Wow, I'd like to be having somebody sitting here now that said, brother, wait a minute, excuse me, I want to stop you and correct you on one of those points you made. I'll be concerned. Which one? What are you going to say? What do you got to say? I don't want to hear you talk. Show some verse from the Quran that says, no, that's not right what you're saying. Another verse. Don't tell me, well, brother, I disagree. Well, I'm not interested in that. It's no problem. You see, you can disagree. It's no problem. But I'm dealing with the facts. I'm pointing the Quran, you see. Say. I'm saying. Allah says say, so I'm repeating what Allah told him to do. I'm saying this here. That's all I'm saying. See, I'm standing behind the Quran. The Quran is out front. I'm not out in front of the Quran. I'm behind it. The Quran is speaking. The Quran is, you have to deal with the Quran, not me. I'm just back here flipping these pages. It's the Quran that's talking, not me. I'm just turning the pages like this, look. And the Quran is doing the talking, you see? Look, what did Muhammad, the messenger prophet, leave as guidance for us to follow? Look at that. What is the Quran, and was it the Quran and his Sunnah contained in the famous books of Ahadith? Yeah, there's the big question now. Now we should get some action. Here's the big